Hi, Dave here from Informed American. I hope you're all having a great day as Pfizer announces that its COVID-19 vaccine is 90% effective. That is a huge number. Markets have popped, and of course, Pfizer stock has popped as well. And the question for you that I posed is, will you take this, something that's 90% effective to this COVID-19 pandemic? A couple of you have already chimed in saying no, and one of you also commented saying that, well, I'll just let some other people have it first. Let's see about the side effects over the next year or two before deciding if I want to take the COVID-19 vaccine myself. And for me, my own answer is, I don't know. I'm not sure, because at this point, I'm not afraid of getting COVID-19 by now. I mean, I survived this long. I didn't get it, at least to the best of my knowledge. I haven't had a test, so it's possible that I could have the antibodies and maybe never really got sick. But I don't consider myself particularly at risk. And so I think my initial answer is I'm kind of a wait-and-see guy as well. Now, some of you may be wondering, well, okay, good news, Dave, about the vaccine, but what about the election? You were talking about it day after day after day for the last 2 or 3 months. What the heck is going on? So I'll quickly give my thoughts on that before diving a little deeper into the Pfizer thing. Now, there are a number of lawsuits going on right now. And as you know, over the weekend, the media declared Vice President Joe Biden as the president-elect. He made a national address on Saturday night. And the pressure now is on Trump to concede, but it doesn't appear that he's going to, at least not yet. And by all appearances, seems to be geared up for a long fight in the courts. There's a number of states where he's filed lawsuits: Pennsylvania, Michigan, Wisconsin, Georgia, Nevada, Arizona. I think maybe I'm even leaving one out. And so that's the litigation going on right now. Now, what do I think about this? Well, I spent a lot of time over the last few days looking at stuff, and it appears that there are some statistical anomalies regarding how the votes came in and the way they were counted. And you could find some of this out. And one of those things that is something called Benford's Law. Benford, Benford's Law. It's a statistical law. It's essentially what people use to detect fraud in financial markets. Now, this may be claimed for the election. Now, there's some dispute over whether or not this is valid. I don't have a PhD in statistics, so I can't say for myself. So there's that going on. People are also in a number of states trying to cross-reference voters versus voter rolls, who voted, who didn't. Some people, did people move? Did people die? Now, I showed last week that there's a number of voters that they found in Michigan who were either dead or at least 120 years old that had voted. And when you look at the address, it was an empty field. We showed that. Now, how many dead people voted? It can't be very many. So that's just more of a headline thing. Then it's not enough to change votes. I mean, how many could it be? 100, maybe, something like that. Whereas, particularly like somewhere in Wisconsin, President Trump needs to flip about 20,000 votes. So he's not going to get there with dead voters. But this thing is still ongoing. In Pennsylvania, the Supreme Court ordered Pennsylvania to quarantine any late ballots. Okay, in Michigan, because the problem there is, well, at this point, so how do you quarantine them? How do you know what's late or not? Because there have been allegations of people backdating when the ballots were received. There's a person in Wisconsin, I believe. No, actually, it's Michigan, who signed an affidavit to that effect, that she was told to backdate ballots. I don't know. Where's this going to go? You also have, because the issue is, so if you do a recount, just to quickly say, a recount isn't, in other words, if you imagine that there's also some software glitches going on. There's a software called Dominion that's apparently used in 25, 30 states, all of the swing states this year, that there may have been some glitches, some votes going for Biden instead of Trump. We'll see where that goes. Now, if this legal battle, is the way I see it, is a simple recount, is not going to do anything. Because the allegation isn't that they counted wrong, I don't think. The allegation is that there are thousands and thousands of spoiled ballots. So if positing that that's true, if there are thousands and thousands of spoiled ballots, then you just recount them. That doesn't change anything, right? You have to go in, you have to have the ability to go in, get and examine every single ballot from the beginning, and have to do that in every single state. Will they get that? I don't know. I just don't know if that's going to happen. Now, something potentially to keep in mind, potentially, is as all this stuff is going on and as more stuff comes out, as I anticipate that this could drag on for a couple of weeks. Whether it changes the end result, I don't know, but we will certainly be here to report on that. Something to keep in mind is that the final say on an election outcome is not the Supreme Court. Well, it's certainly not the media. It's not the Supreme Court. It's not even local election officials. The final say to an outcome in an election resides, the ultimate power resides with the state legislature. They have the power to appoint their own electors to go vote in the Electoral College. That power is absolute on their end. They can choose. In Michigan, Wisconsin, Pennsylvania, and Georgia, Republicans hold the legislatures. Could that be, if you're looking for a Hail Mary or something like that, that could be it. I don't know that that's likely, but legally that is another path if you're looking for it. So that's sort of where we stand now. It's kind of a giant cloud in terms of what's going to happen. As of now, Joe Biden is president-elect, and remains to be seen if President Trump's legal challenges will prevail. So we will keep reporting on that. Now back to the vaccine, because this is really important. Pfizer, BioNTech say COVID-19 is more than 90% effective. They're calling it a great day for science and humanity. And see, the split between vaccinated individuals who receive a placebo indicated a vaccine efficiency above 90% at 7 days after the second dose. So that means the protection from COVID-19 is achieved in 28 days after the initial vaccination, which consists of a 2-dose schedule. So you got to get 2 shots. Also, as I brought up, this thing is going to be free. Pfizer and BioNTech partnered with the U.S. government. The U.S. government gave them, I believe, just under $2 billion. Is one of those conditions was to make this vaccine free for all Americans. So, if you do want to get the vaccine, at least you won't have to pay for it, and I think that's right. And as we saw, and the reaction here, Rachel Semen says, no, not interested in the vaccine. But on the market side, Dow rallies 4% to a record high after Pfizer makes their announcement. And you can see here's the Dow absolutely just shooting up. And then here is Pfizer as well, basically following. Pfizer's up just under 10%. So big. And the interesting thing here is that this is having some knock-on effects. Reopening stocks jump, stay-at-home falters. So shares of cruise operator Carnival Group rocketed higher by 39%. Guys, if you're thinking about if you're a cruiser, if you like going on cruises, well, now you know this is the importance. So whether or not you take the vaccine individually, this does have a huge impact on the country and the economy potentially, and certainly the market see that. Southwest Airlines jumped 22%. Maybe it's safer to fly in a plane now. Walt Disney popped 14%. I believe they're open here in Orlando at Walt Disney World, but I believe Disneyland is still closed. So big news for them. This sort of thing is getting back to normal thing. Going on cruises, going on airplanes, going out in large crowds at theme parks. I mean, this is as I believe the CEO of Pfizer said, this could be the light at the end of the tunnel. Now, interestingly, some of the things that have done well in the pandemic are now faltering on this sort of good news, bad news for companies like Zoom, as they dipped 17%. So maybe less video conferencing. All those paid accounts from institutions like schools, governments, all these Zoom accounts that they're paying for. Zoom did very, very well with that. Just tons of people buying professional subscriptions to run their meetings remotely. Well, if you stop doing that, that's bad news for Zoom. Same thing with Amazon. Everyone's shopping online. People might go out to the stores now, check out different prices or different variety rather than on Amazon. Netflix, interesting there because I don't know know that I'm not sure the difference there. I mean, I guess people are home more, watching more, but I mean, you kind of watch what you watch. I guess it just depends where you are. But I don't think my viewing habits really changed at all during the pandemic. And Teladoc Health dropped 12.3%. So that's a telemedicine service. So instead of going to see your doctor, you can do a teleconference kind of a thing. So yeah, I got another comment here from Velizer Getchev. Never. Oh, no vaccine for nobody wants the vaccine. So maybe the market popping is a little bit premature. So even if we get the vaccine, I mean, if certainly what's in our group here is maybe not representative of all of America, but if people are wary and they don't want to take it, that will be interesting. Maybe it may be a bit premature that we're out of the woods yet. Particularly if what happens. In order to open up, let's say if getting the vaccine is a condition for reopening the economy, and then people won't take the vaccine, well, that certainly presents a problem. Where the fight may really begin too, is maybe so who's maybe most likely to take the vaccine? I would say probably the most vulnerable, right? So you're thinking of older folks, people who have maybe compromised immune systems, things like that. And something we discussed about maybe a mandatory vaccine, which I would assume would rub many of you the wrong way. But suppose, thinking about a vaccine for the most vulnerable, suppose if you or a family member is thinking about going into a nursing home, will that nursing home allow you to live there if you don't take the vaccine? And maybe that just becomes a policy everywhere. Can't get into a nursing home without a vaccine. What if employers? I don't know if an employer can make you do that, but it'd be interesting. I think certainly schools is one. You can't allow your kid in. Kid can't go to school until they get the COVID-19 vaccine. They already require vaccinations for other things. Could COVID-19 be another one, a required vaccine for attendance in school, nursing homes, things like that? It will be interesting to see how this shakes out. But it certainly is, at the moment, it's good news. This 90% figure is far higher than the threshold, than the anticipated threshold. I think Fauci said a good vaccine, he would expect it to be 50 to 60% effective. And other health officials were, you're kind of banking on maybe 70%, 75%. So 90% is an absolutely huge number. And stocks are way up today based on this news as we get a little bit of hope that this COVID-19 pandemic can be at least tamed a little bit more and allow the country to begin to open up again so we can all go out and do those things like take that cruise to the Caribbean, get on a plane to visit a relative or for a business meeting, or just to take your kids to Disneyland, as now things may be turning. There might be, as said, the light at the end of the tunnel. So I want to know what you think about all that. Curious what you think about another one from Kathy Mansfield. No, nobody wants the vaccine. And as I said, just to repeat the point, I'm not sure I want it either. I'm going to take at least a wait and see approach. I'm not completely dismissing it, but I'm certainly not jumping on board to get the vaccine. I'm in no rush because I don't consider myself to be a member of a vulnerable population. I made it this far, so I'm gonna take the wait and see approach. I'd love to know what you all think. Keep commenting down below, and my comments here on the election, the legal battle surrounding the election, which is ongoing. I think it will drag on for at least a week or two, and then we may get some. Maybe we'll finally put that to bed and see what comes of it. And as more stuff comes out, we certainly will be here to report on that. So if you've enjoyed this video, please hit the like button and share this video with your friends. If you're watching on YouTube, I'd love it if you would subscribe to the channel, hit the thumbs up button, and of course, head on over to informedamerican.com where you can get real smart news. Thanks for watching.